Hello, everyone. Yes, okay. Today, I'm going to be able to tag people. Tagging everyone in. Hope everyone is doing well. If you're catching the replay, you might want to skip like 10, 20 seconds ahead. Hello, hello. If you're joining live, let me know you're joining live. If you are catching the replay, let me know you are catching the replay. Alrighty. Almost done. Tagging everyone in. All right, if you're watching live, let me know you're there and give me like one more minute to finish tagging everyone in. I wish I had like that cool SMS service. I don't know if you ever sign up for courses and they tell you they're starting live by a text. Those ones always get me. But I'm not that tech savvy yet. Oh my goodness, so many people to tag in. All right. Yeah, that's, I'm gonna stop there. It's just so many people. Alrighty. So hello everyone. Hi Gigi, I'm glad you finally made it live. All right, hi Jenna. Wonderful. Okay, so a couple quick notes. I have my evil eye necklace on today. I started feeling really tired yesterday for some reason about 45 minutes in to the live, and that's not like normal for me, especially when I'm talking about something I'm very passionate about. So I don't know if it was something on the call, if it was something in my life, but I wouldn't call myself religious or superstitious or even spiritual, but being half Greek, I grew up with the concept of the evil eye, and I do believe in the power of the subconscious mind. So I do think that if I think something, if the thought occurs in my mind, and it's rooted to a strong belief like the evil eye, then, you know, protection is good. Protection is a mental process as well. Actually had a really strong desire right before I got pregnant to get an evil eye tattooed on me, and then I got pregnant right after. So I thought that was really cool. I felt like there was like this deep, like I was like, no, I need to get this tattoo. And then I found out I was pregnant like 3 weeks later. So obviously you can't get tattooed when you're pregnant. So I felt like I had a really protected pregnancy, and I have a very healthy guy. So if you're wondering why I have eyeballs on my neck, that is why. All right. Hello, everyone. So we are jumping into day 2, the secrets about healing gums. Yesterday, we went over the lies that are stopping you from healing your gums naturally, and I hope that yesterday really opened your eyes to why the dental industry, part of why they don't know or they don't share this information, right? Bottom line, it's profits. So today I'm going to be telling you the secrets to healing gums. Thank you, Miranda. And just remember, if you are watching live, let me know you're watching live. If you're catching the replay, let me know you're catching the replay. It's important to me to keep a small and energized group. If people are not showing up, if they, ask for a spot but they weren't really interested, I'd love to release people so that I can bring more people in without making the group too large, so I can really make sure I'm getting to all of your questions. And whoa, okay, there we go. Alrighty, hang on 1 second here. Okay, tech drama. All right, so as yesterday, I'm not going to be answering questions live, but please do share any questions that come into your mind as I go through the material, because I will be answering all those questions on Sunday. So Sunday is going to be a live Q&A with me, and yeah, I'll be answering those questions live there. And it just kind of helps us streamline and get through these days as fast as possible. And if you have any aha moments, please let me know in the comments, type aha or type what the aha moment was. That lets me know what is new for you. That lets me know, if I'm doing a good job at opening your eyes, or if I need to really, really crack out some craziness. And it also helps solidify in your mind what you're learning. So, all right. So let's talk about the secrets behind healing gums. Okay, so here's a few common misconceptions I'm going to share with you that if this is you, let me know. So let me know if you felt like your gum disease or your gum issues stems from your oral care, and you've been really focusing on your oral care, and you've been kind of looking at it like it's the missing piece, and if you could just brush enough or clean enough or find the right toothpaste or find the right mouthwash, you would not have these issues, right? So let me know if that's you in the comments below. Most people do think that oral care is everything, and I meet, most people I meet for the first time, when they're first searching out how to heal, the question is always, what toothpaste should I use? So if you, everybody has in their inbox, if you join this program and you entered your email in, you have an email from me with a homemade toothpaste recipe. So that is your first email from me, and I recommend you go in, you get it, it's a recipe. And if you are on live today, drop live in there so I can send you over recipe for day 2. So here's the thing. Oral care is only about 20% of the picture. It's about 20%. If you've heard about the 80-20 rule, the 80-20 rule states that 80% of the results come from about 20% of the actions at all times in pretty much every area of life. So about 80% of what's going on in your mouth is actually nutrition. It's actually nutrition. So most people are out here thinking that 80% of their gum disease or their oral issues are poor oral hygiene, right? Not flossing, not brushing, not mouthwashing, snacking too much, whatever it may be. Now, that is only a small piece of the picture. It might even be less than 20%. But here's the thing. What you are doing to your mouth can harm or help your mouth. So most people are out there going way too hard on their teeth. They're brushing away their enamel, if they have thin enamel. They are obsessively, mouthwashing and flossing to the point where they're cutting their gums. Hi, Buffy, glad you made it. They are stripping their oral microbiome with antibacterial mouthwashes, and it's really, really doing damage, okay? So it is absolutely important to figure out what the right technique for keeping your mouth clean is. But I want to just relax you a little bit here and let you know that once you get the other 4 keys, and I'll be sharing that in a little bit, once you get the other 4 keys right, oral care becomes minuscule and sometimes even unnecessary, right? So just a reminder, remember we talked about ancestors yesterday and we talked about skulls. So our ancestors did not have toothbrushes, they did not have floss, they did not have toothpaste, they did not have mouthwash, and they did not have dentists, and yet they had perfect, straight, most of them had perfect, straight, beautiful teeth. Hi, Leslie. That they were able to keep through till their deaths. So, which is why we see skulls with beautifully formed faces. So, and Leslie, drop a live so that I can shoot you over that recipe today. So, here's the thing. We've got now to really start thinking about how to work with the other things. I'm going to share that with you in a moment. So I'm going to share with you the second misconception that a lot of people come up against that causes them issues. So they think that they have to go on a restrictive diet to heal their gums. Let me know if you think that's you. Let me know if you feel like healing your gums probably means giving up sugar or grains or going gluten-free or going vegan or maybe keto or paleo or carnivore. Let me know guys, if that is you. Okay, yeah. You got a couple people who feel like that's what's going on with them. Here's the issue. First of all, our ancestors were opportunistic omnivores. Opportunistic omnivores, right? They ate whatever they could. They obviously ate more naturally and less processed food. Much less processed food. But the reality is, a lot of these diets, I consider them to be ideological diets. So a vegan diet is an ideological diet. It's not a diet that we have found in nature, right? We cannot find any human civilization. There has not been found a vegan civilization, right? So, if you have an ideological diet, and this is the same with a paleo and keto. I see a lot of things that are labeled keto that I'm like, it's what they call dirty keto. It's technically keto, but it's gonna give you, other issues because there's artificial sweeteners, right? Because it's supposed to be no sugar. And that is just as bad, if not worse, than having sugar, artificial sweeteners. And then things like paleo. I see paleo magazines in the grocery store. And these magazines have the nerve to have cupcakes and cookies and baked treats on the front all the time. And don't get me wrong, I think those things are fabulous, and I think there's absolutely a healthy way to indulge in sweet treats. There is. This is what I teach. Meals that heal, that are pleasurable. But let's be real here. If we're talking about Paleolithic diet, we are talking about, this is what our Paleolithic ancestors ate. Our Paleolithic ancestors did not eat muffins. They did not have cake. They had, our Paleolithic ancestors ate fruit when it was in season, and that fruit was not like it was today. It was not sweet. It was not that enjoyable. They had to do a lot of things to make it edible, right? Cooking apples, that's how apples used to be. Crab apples, that's how apples used to be. We, as a species, have gotten really used to the taste of sugar. We love sugar, right? Sugar is energy to our brains and our minds. So we have crossbred and made it so that our fruits are super sweet. They definitely did not have microwaves. They definitely didn't. So here's the thing. When you get on an ideological diet, and Gigi, the AIP, I believe that's the autoimmune protocol. Listen, you can get on a diet for a short amount of time to get a result that you need. That's fine. But if you feel like in order to heal, you are going to have to be on a restrictive diet, you are most likely going to be missing out on some very, very key aspects of health. So for example, grains give lots of fiber. There are minerals and nutrients locked inside if you know how to correctly prepare them to unlock them, okay? Veggies have come under fire from carnivores lately, and a lot of carnivore diet people were past vegetarians who did harm to themselves by eating excessive amounts of raw veggies. Now they can't even stomach, they cannot even stomach veggies, right? But that's not the fault of the veggies, right? And I was a vegan for 2.5 years, and I lost the enzymes in my stomach that helped me break down meat. That is not the meat's problem. That is not the meat's fault. That is, I was on an ideological diet, and I will let you know, it's understandable. Kids are distracting. My boyfriend took my baby, and they are gone. They're gone for an hour, so, you know, we do what we can. So I want to tell you a quick story, guys. I want to tell you about me a little bit and how I came into this world. So I always had bad teeth as a child. I remember about 5 or 6 years old, the saga of the dentist. And what did I overhear from my family? Oh, it runs in your family. You get it from your father, right? Let me know if you feel like your bad teeth or your bad gums are hereditary. Let me know. So, while this is true, DNA is not destiny. Okay? DNA is not destiny. I want you to write that down if you truly believe that, you know, your issues are hereditary. DNA is not destiny. What I learned is that most people do not have genes, that everybody has a place in their body where dis-ease and being out of alignment shows up, right? So for many people, dis-ease and being out of alignment with nature shows up in their waistline, right? So they get larger than they want to be, right? It looks like obesity. It looks like, you know, heart problems. There are people who do not have any overt signs of the dis-ease and the disalignment. And then they drop dead at 55 of a heart attack, right? So we do want to thank the body for letting us know when we are out of alignment, when we are in dis-ease and disalignment. And there are people who have zero weight on their bodies, right? They are struggling to gain the weight. And that can be often dis-ease and disalignment, right? So, hi, Shanae. You know what? I had to wake up at 6 a.m. for a call this morning, so I feel your pain. And then the call didn't even happen, so that was very frustrating. Whatever. So, if I can share with you how I came to this world. I had pain. I had like fear of the dentist. Every time I went in there, they would tell me that I needed work done. I didn't understand why, and it was just a nightmare. And so when I was 20, I came to this country. I came to America when I was 19, and I didn't have health insurance or dental insurance after that. For a long time. I would have health insurance, but I wouldn't have dental insurance. And that's unfortunately how America works. Like, health insurance is hard to come by, usually in jobs that suck your soul, and then dental insurance is almost never included, and it's minimal if at best. So I just started putting it off. I put it off. Anyway, about 22 years old, I started to go on a search for more energy. I was tired of feeling chronically fatigued. I didn't really know what else was going on, but I was getting yeast infections. I had really bad acne. I had, this is my first pimple in a month. So I had all these things going on. I had chronic fatigue. I had depression. I had mood swings, so much going on. But all I knew was that I didn't have energy, and I felt like I'm young. I should have energy, right? So I started experimenting with diet. I started moving into pescatarianism. Then I started moving into vegetarianism. Then I started moving into veganism. And I was vegan for 2.5 years, guys. And I I felt really good. I had the energy, but my teeth started to fall apart. My teeth started to fall apart. Like, remember I showed you yesterday that I'm missing a couple of teeth? That was when that happened. I didn't make the connection, right? I did not understand that my body was missing out on certain key nutrients, and it was pulling apart very easily available stores of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and other things from my teeth, so that my brain could keep running, so that the biological processes in my body could run. So that was a hard one, guys. That was like really hard, because I didn't know at the time what was going on. I was really confused. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't have dental insurance. Finally I broke down and told my dad, and I was like, I am in so much pain. And he was like, oh my God, let's get you to the dentist. So my hair looks so silly today. If you have curls, you know that it's just, we do what we can with the curls. Like, I love them, but some days they're just being a little crazy, so it is what it is. My baby loves my curls, so that's good. So what happens? So I go to the dentist, and they tell me, oh, you have a lot of issues in your teeth. We're going to do some work today. It's going to be $2,000. We are going to write you out a treatment plan for $24,000. So the whole treatment plan was $24,000. And I left there, and I told my dad, and he was like, whoa, we have to figure out some way. We got to get you to Mexico, because that's ridiculous. I mean, think about what you could buy with $24,000. That's a house payment. That's like 2 brand new cars, or like 1 amazing car. That's like the time of your life, right? Like, that's a whole year's salary for like most people in America. So there I was, and there I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. Thankfully, an angel was sent to me, and her name is Shirley Clark. So Shirley is in her 80s now. She's not on social media, unfortunately. She lives up in the mountains, she lives out in the countryside in Oregon on a farm with her great-grandchildren. But she was my customer when I was working in the farmer's market, because I was vegan. So I was like, let me work in an organic produce company so that I can get really great like veggies. And that's why I was stumped, guys. That's why I was stumped. I was like, I'm doing everything I need to do. I'm eating well. I'm moving my body. I'm in the sunshine. You know, I have good relationships. Why is my body falling apart at 24 years old? What is going on? And the dentist could not answer me, you guys. They couldn't give me an answer. Maybe they didn't want to. The dentist did say, just eat less bread. And that was like, wait, what? That was my first, because, guys, I was a vegan. I thought bread was like the best thing ever. And I'm not saying bread isn't, but this was the first time a dentist had said something to me beyond, because I said to him, so what can I do? Do I just need to like brush more and like eat less sugar? And he was like, yeah, and less bread too. And I was like, wait, what? But he didn't elaborate. So luckily, my friend Shirley, she kind of gets me on this tip. She starts sharing with me, you know, all the, like, she's just one of those super knowledgeable people. She starts opening up my eyes to, you know, these old texts that have been written. If you've ever read the book, it's called Physical and Nutritional Degeneration by Weston Price. Physical and Nutritional Degeneration. It's a manual like this thick, but it's research. He went around the world and he studied people who didn't have tooth decay. And he started, hi Layla, he started to figure out what the commonalities were. What the difference between the people who had tooth decay and didn't. And this is what I'm going to be teaching you today. Because back then, there really wasn't a lot of information, right? Right now, there's too much. You go online, you're inundated with everyone telling you cod liver oil, homeopathic cell salts, liver, like raw milk, toothpaste, remineralizing toothpaste. Like, it's insane, right? It's insane. And back then it was the opposite. There was not a whisper. It was so quiet. I literally, you guys, I had to get up and go. I read this giant text, and luckily I was in college at the time, so I was like pretty used to, Layla, drop a live so I can remember to send you the recipe. So luckily I was used to reading big text because I was in college at the time, and I used my breaks, my winter breaks, my summer breaks, all of that, to go and travel and meet people who had this information. So I was going around and I was going to these organizations, I was going to these groups, I was going to people who are homesteading and living in community, and I was learning from them, right? So this is why this information is not really available, because what you're seeing when you're getting a million product recommendations is the product of a product and consumer-based society, right? You have a problem, let me sell you these things, right? What I was learning is, here's the system. Here's how we bring ourselves back into alignment, because the natural state of a human is alignment. It's alignment, right? When we are out of alignment with the earth around us and our environment, we are sick. So, perfect. Thanks, Leslie. So, I started implementing some changes, and very quickly I was able to heal. Very, very quickly. This blew my mind. And not only was I able to heal, I got more energy than when I was vegan. I was able to eat everything. I was, my skin got clearer, my energy got better. I haven't fallen into a dark depression ever since. I had a little seasonal affective disorder last year, but that was, I was pregnant. It was deep winter, and there was nowhere to go, and there was no one to see, and I knew how to support myself. So this is what I'm sharing with you guys. This is what I'm sharing with you. When you go on a diet that is restrictive, you end up having imbalances. Okay, we humans are opportunistic omnivores. So the third thing I'm going to teach you, the third secret that most people get wrong, is that they think that you can achieve someone else's result by borrowing someone else's roadmap. Awesome. Hi, Tanya. They think you can achieve someone else's result by borrowing someone else's roadmap. Okay, we see this all the time. I have had a few people say, oh, I've been following your protocol. And I'm like, what protocol? Unless you become a student of mine, you don't really know how to create your own personal power protocol. You probably have your own protocol that you might not think, you have your own foods and your own lifestyle activities that you already engage in. But I don't have a one-size-fits-all protocol that's out there. I don't have one. So when I talk to people, I realize what's happened is my students have shared their wonderful results in different groups, and people have said, what did you do? And they share everything that they did. And you guys, that's totally fine. I don't mind. Information is free. Transformation, though, that takes a lot of work and time. It takes time. I wouldn't say time. It takes dedication to understanding what's going on. So every person has different needs. And let me tell you this. In the past year, since becoming pregnant and then giving birth and then breastfeeding, I have had to have multiple different, I'm getting a little warm. I've had to have multiple different protocols and diets for myself. And if I was adhering to a one-size-fits-all protocol, I would be in trouble. Not only would I be in nutritional trouble because there would be things I couldn't eat, I would be in emotional trouble because I would be bothered. I would be like, oh, I can't eat these things right now. Guys, I couldn't eat for weeks of my pregnancy. And that's such an important time to be nourishing yourself. But I knew what I had to do instead. And I knew that I had loaded up on so much good stuff right before I got pregnant that my mind was put at ease. I took some supplements. If you follow me, you know I'm not a big supplements fan. I took a few food-based supplements and I said, okay, it's expensive and it's not as effective, but this is what I can do for this baby right now. So I'm going to teach you quickly the 5 keys. I'm going to go over this a little bit more tomorrow. When you learn, so your personal power protocol, and those of you who got on the phone with me this week, I shared with you the exact personal power protocol worksheet that I have my students fill out so that you know exactly what's going on at, basically, as you know, I have a 6-week course. And once you go through the 6-week course, you distill it down to a page where it's, asking about, you learn is dairy right for me? Are veggies right for me? Is meat right for me? If so, what kind? And how am I preparing these? It's a 1-page menu because there's so much information and we want to learn it all. And then we want to simplify it and bring it in down to a 1-page document that you can stick on your fridge and that your spouse or your kids or your roommates or your family or yourself can be reminded about the foods that will nourish you, right? So that doesn't mean you can't eat everything. That means you're focusing in. If your family goes, oh, look at this, she's really into goat cheese. Let me get her some goat cheese from the store, right? And that is what I love about what I do because I help you focus. And you guys, you have to focus on what you love. The foods that are your personal power foods. Sometimes you may know already some of your personal power foods. One of my personal power foods is raw sauerkraut. And when I'm eating that a lot, it does wonders for me. It does wonders for me, right? And so this is why that is the personal power protocol. Because I have a lot of students that say to me, I cannot do sauerkraut. I don't like it. I'm like, that's okay. There's plenty of other fermented foods out there for you. And some people can't even do fermentation because of where they're at in their health journey. So there are other options. Is this making sense, guys? Let me know if this is making sense. All right. So I'm going to teach you the 5 keys, the 5 areas that you need to understand in order to start healing. And then we're going to wrap a little early today. So the first, as we have talked about, is oral care, right? You need not to have some perfect oral care routine, but you need to be making sure that the oral care routine that you have chosen is supporting your teeth or supporting your gum health and revitalization and remineralization, not damaging it. I could say most people right now, guys, on the face of the planet who are using modern tools, they are damaging their teeth and they are damaging their gums. They're just going too hard. They're using things that are too abrasive. Again, if you're just coming on, if you've come on later, I shared with you a homemade toothpaste recipe in your welcome email. So look for that. It's under fuelyourdreamscoaching@gmail.com. Some people find it in their spam, unfortunately, so go through and look for that. So that's the first area. That's the smallest area. You don't need to think about that too much. If you have the other 4 areas on lock, you can fall asleep without brushing your teeth and not worry at all. You could do it 5 nights a week. Your teeth would be fine. So the second area, now this is the biggest area for most people, and the biggest area that I cover in my course. This covers about 3.5 weeks worth of the course. It's nutrition. Unfortunately, most people do not know how to feed themselves. We think we do, right? We really think we do. But as women, we are sent so many mixed messages. Guys, we are sent so many mixed messages from birth about what women eat and what they need at different times in their life. and, what we enjoy. And it's just a cluster F out there, honestly, because every few years it's like we have some new person coming in saying, red meat is bad, or only drink celery juice, or just so many random things, right? And I'm here to remind you that your health is ancestral, right? Your health is ancestral. Ask yourself, what were my great-grandparents eating? What were they eating? And that's a great place to start, right? Obviously, in my 6-week course, I go deep into that. But it's so easy to start with asking yourself, did my great-grandparents eat, for example, did they eat red meat? Some people's did and some people's didn't. Did they drink celery juice? Probably not. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people follow the medical medium, but that guy, a lot of his stuff is not going to help you with your teeth. It's not going to help you with your gums. I know he sounds great, but just bring it back. Whenever you have a question, this is what I always do. What did my ancestors do? Did my ancestors have fluoride in their water? Did my ancestors brush with fluoride toothpaste? Did they floss daily? Did they use antibacterial mouthwash, right? And this has guided me along with the knowledge that I have gained from actual elders, which is amazing, because I'm so lucky. Really, honestly, the reason that I have so much knowledge is because I grew up around elders. My grandmothers on both sides are elders. They're not old people, right? The difference between, in my mind, an elder and an old person is an elder has wisdom. They continually learn and they are continuously curious, right? So they become a resource, a valuable resource to their community. An old person usually stops learning as soon as they can, maybe right out of high school, and they don't learn. They stick with whatever they know from the time frame that they had to learn, and then they just get stuck in their ways. And they're difficult to deal with. They don't really care about what you have to say. You can feel when you're around an old person because they're not asking you questions. They're not curious about you. An elder is curious. An elder is asking you questions, right? And then they're sharing their wisdom, but not from a place of judgment, right? They probably won't share with you their wisdom if you're not open to it, right? So I grew up around a lot of elders, and I have been able to learn some amazing, amazing things because of that. And this is what I'm sharing with you. So the third key to healing gum disease naturally, that is going to be looking at emotional aspects of healing. Emotional aspects of healing. Guys, ladies, if you have a lot of pent-up pain, emotion, negative emotion, ancestral trauma, that often shows up in the mouth. That often shows up in the mouth, okay? So even if you don't have trauma, you've worked through your trauma, or you had little to none, you could be holding on to trauma encoded in your DNA and passed down. This is why it's so, so important to heal before we have children, because we can pass our trauma down. And this is not some spiritual woo-woo thing. You guys, this has been proven that traumatic experiences get encoded into the DNA and passed on to our children. So it's really important to look at whether emotional aspects of healing, right? Because you may be like, no, my diet is like locked in, but it might be emotional aspects that are holding you back. You may not be able to speak your truth, and then it's almost like the emotions get stuck in your mouth and they start to decay, right? This is something, it looks different on everyone, how every person deals with their own healing, but you have to know that it is a potential cause in your decay. So the fourth aspect is physiological. How are we eating, chewing, breathing, sleeping, standing, sitting, and how is that affecting our our oral health, right? So for example, one quick easy one for you to understand is that like mouth breathing is going to cause a lot of issues, right? If you have gum disease and you have your mouth open either during the day or at night, your mouth is going to dry out. Your mouth needs to be shut when you're not speaking, especially when you're sleeping, but just generally it needs to be shut so that it can keep that oral microbiome, as it is intended. Having a dry mouth can cause a lot of issues. And some people are on medications that can cause dry mouth, and they need to be aware of that too. So that's physiological. Did I go through all of them? We had oral care. The last one. So the last one is environmental. This one is a big one for me. So it's nutritional and environmental for me are the ones I need to always be on high alert for. So many people do not realize that the spaces that they spend the most time in, are actually damaging their ability to heal. Hindering or damaging their ability to heal. I experienced this and I learned this when I was teaching the course, and I was eating phenomenally. And I started getting cavities and I couldn't figure out why. And so I started doing more research. And I started learning that the home that I was in had multiple touch points where it was essentially a toxic home to me, and my body was not able to heal. It was not able to assimilate the nutrients that I was putting in it. For reference, I moved out of that home. I lived in a van. I didn't eat as well, and my cavities cleared up. My dog started having loose teeth. His teeth in the front started being loose because of his gums from that home. We moved into the van and we started traveling. His teeth hardened, the gums hardened up and his teeth stopped wobbling, right? So let me know if that's something that you've ever heard of or you've ever thought of. Ever heard of or ever thought of? Okay. And so while I'm waiting to hear your answers, because we're going to be wrapping up right now, remember, drop any questions you have and I will answer them on Sunday. So that's it for today. A little bit of a shorter class, but I wanted to invite you, if you have not joined me on a connection call where I will be giving you the personal power protocol, I'm going to drop that link to my calendar in the comments right after this live. So go ahead and schedule a call in with me. I have limited slots for that, so please jump on that. And if you do not get a spot, I do apologize, but I just don't have that much time. So if you do make an appointment, please come to the appointment. Put it in your calendar and get it together so that it's 15 minutes. We go over the personal power protocol, any questions you have, and that's a part of this program. That is, and I'm offering that for one more week. So if you have any more questions, folks, drop them in the chat, and I will see you tomorrow for the final day when we will be going over the 3 truths and the personal power protocol, aka the blueprint. What you need to do to put this all together and get it going. Get it going so that you can start healing today or with your next meal. All right, folks, I hope